Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners just like you make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 149, and I am so glad that you're here today. Y'all, this message is so important for you, and I'm glad you're listening. You probably saw it in the title, but here's what it's about. It's about realizing that day one of starting anything that you've wanted to start is so much better than saying, and I quote, one day. Y'all know what I mean by this? That it's so much better to kick things off rather than just keep dreaming about it. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this podcast. Each week I provide valuable tips and strategies from my last 22 years as a small business owner, and I have loved it all so much. And I get to share that with you and get to help you and guide you as you turn your passions and skills into a profitable new business. So welcome. If you're new, make sure right now that you get plugged in, okay? All you have to do is scroll down in the show notes right here. And you just scroll down, if you're an Apple Podcast or whatever player you're in, scroll down, you'll see some links for newbies, okay? And you can get in my Facebook group today. Did you know this? I have a free Facebook group for women starting businesses doing what we love. And you just go ahead and click, and you have to answer 3 questions super quick and get in there. Y'all, there's 260 people now just sitting there, not in the group because they didn't answer the questions, but you're better than that. You're so much better than that. And you're going to answer the questions. Okay. Also too, I have some free downloads for you, a 16-step checklist that people love that you can work through as you're starting your business. It has all the basics for everything you need to be doing. So I'm just so excited. So make sure you check out those. And if you've been listening, well, thank you so much to all my loyal listeners, the messages and kind words that y'all leave for me in the Facebook group and in DMs and anywhere. And I've had people tell me personally, it's just so wonderful. It is so wonderful to know that what I'm sharing is actually helping you. And I can't wait for the day when you get your business going and you're helping people and you receive these kinds of kind messages too. It will literally warm your soul. So thank you all so much for doing this for me. It means the world. So that's it. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello everyone. How are you? How's your day going? How is your business going? I need to know right now. I wish you could pause it and speak it and I could hear it and I could hear everyone's updates because it's just so much fun. I know some weeks y'all have great wins that you share, like on our Wednesdays post in our Facebook group. And some weeks are busy weeks where you're just like, I got to get my DBA this week. I got to go file this. I got to go do this. And I get it. Not every week is an amazing week when you're starting your business. But overall, y'all, starting your own business is one of the greatest things that you will ever do. I'm so glad you're here today. And for those of you that have been in the dreaming stage, okay, you've been dreaming about this business. For those of you that are just starting, anyone, I think this is great information. Even if you have a growing, thriving business, this is something so important to remember. Okay. And I already told you, spoiler alert, what this episode is about day one being so much better than saying, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that. I love it. One thing that kind of inspired this episode was I was thinking about my daughter, Ava, who's 13, and she had been told by the dentist for years, our dentist, who we love, she's my neighbor. We've been told by her for years her teeth were so beautiful and she's probably not going to, they didn't know. Well, I guess they didn't say definitively, but she had said, I don't know if she's going to need braces. So Ava's whole life, she's been telling her older brother and sister, y'all had to get braces. I'm probably not going to. And she was also told by the x-rays that we had, she had no wisdom teeth. And so she was all excited and braggadocious about it to her older siblings that she wasn't going to have to get her wisdom teeth out. Well, literally in one day, we went and had a consult with an orthodontist because our dentist said, maybe you should go because a couple of the bottom teeth are just kind of poking out and just see what they say. She may need to have speech therapy because maybe she's doing something weird with her tongue. Anyways, to make a long story short, the orthodontist did some different kind of x-rays and then was looking at her and was like, okay, so we can put braces on coming up and you've got 3 wisdom teeth. And we were both silent. He was probably looking at us like we're the craziest people in the world. But we were like, wait, what? She has wisdom teeth. She has 3 of them. And she has to get braces, which y'all had been bragging that she wouldn't have to get all that. Her top teeth are so straight and beautiful. And so that's why it's so hard. You're like, wait, she does need braces. Anyways, I was like, Ava, let's get these on as soon as possible. You're about to be in 8th grade. And they told us maybe 18 months she'll have them. It may not even be that long. And so I was like, let's do this because you don't want to have this drag out. You don't want to think about this for months and months. Like, let's just knock this out. And we were like, okay, let's go. It was like a week later, we went in, which happened to be earlier this week, which was Monday of this week. And I'm recording this on a Friday. And she got her braces. And that was day one of having her braces, okay? And what we realized through the x-rays and all that was that her bottom teeth were a little weird and her bite was a little off. And so they're going to fix all that. And I was thinking how awesome that is to go ahead and knock out day one and be like, okay, we're already every day I've been going, okay, you're 2 days into it. You're 2 days closer to getting your braces off. You're 3 days closer. You're 4 days closer. You're 5 days closer to getting your braces off than you were last week when you didn't even have them on. And it makes me realize in life that day one, y'all, is awesome because it's the day that things change. In some situations, you may not love day one, like braces, you may not love it, but you get to put it behind you and it's awesome because now you don't have to sit around going, oh, my teeth are a little crooked or whatever, and have to be worrying about one day doing that and feeling that angst and then wondering if you should and making excuses and all that stuff, right? Think about it when you've ever gone on a new fitness routine or a diet or some new habit that you wanted to start. Y'all, full disclosure here, there's a new habit. Well, I shouldn't even say a new habit. There's a habit that I started because I got out of the habit. Do y'all have these in your life where you've had habits, you've had good habits in your life, and then for some reason recently you've dropped the habit and you're like, I can't get back into it. But then you just decide one day I'm going to start the habit again, right? Well, this happened to me, y'all, with making my bed. I was getting really lax about making our bed in our room in the mornings. And my husband and I usually get up early together and we drink coffee. And then a lot of times he's got to go jump on a call. He's worked out of our house our entire married life. We have worked out of our homes together. Okay. But usually due to his work schedule, he's got to jump on a call or something. So I go pick up the room and make the bed now on a regular basis. when for years, y'all, I was not making our bed. And I remember deciding on a day, like, I'm going to start this. And there's been a few days here and there that have been not so good. And I just left it a mess in there. But I realized that day that I started was awesome because I made myself do it. And it was so easy. Sometimes I'll turn on the shower while the water is warming and I'll go over and make the bed real quick. So I kind of habit stack. Have you ever read Atomic Habits? By the way, I've talked about this book before. But you can stack your habits together and then it makes it not so bad. So like I turn on the shower and then I go and make the bed, boop, boop, boop. So by the time the shower is warm, my room's clean when I get out of the shower. How amazing is that? Right? So this can be in terms of habits. This can be in terms of new fitness or eating routines or anything. Right? That you decide that like, I'm going to start this and I'm going to quit dreaming about it and thinking about it and have it like lingering in my thoughts when I lay in bed at night. And I'm going to finally start some piece of it. You don't have to go all in day one, but you can step in to this better version of yourself. Y'all, day one is so much better than one day. You don't have all the stress. You actually feel lighter because you're like, oh, I'm doing this. Wait, this wasn't that bad. Why was I so worried about this? Or why did I never take this step? Maybe it's to go say hi to neighbors that you haven't met. I mean, y'all, it could be anything. Keeping your car more clean, keeping your refrigerator clean. I mean, there's a million things. Walking the dogs in the morning. Just think about your life right now. There is something that you've wanted to do that you haven't done. Okay? And today I want to motivate you to start whatever it is. You know, this is a business podcast. So I'm going to apply this to your business because I think a lot of you are here and you've been wanting to start a business, but you haven't officially committed to yourself to like take a step and create a day one. Some of you have started your business and you're scared to have day one opening. Right? You're scared to actually launch it and tell people and like open the doors. And then there's those of you that are growing your business and there's something new that you've been wanting to do in your business, whether it be start a podcast, a YouTube channel, a new coaching program, a new membership, a new, subscription box. There was something that you wanted to create that you have never really let yourself move into or even consider by taking some type of action. You haven't let yourself for whatever reason. Y'all, we all have our goofy reasons. We make excuses. We're scared. We just don't want to commit, right? We don't want one more thing that we're responsible for, right? This is how we are, right? But I just have to tell you today, the day one is so much better. I remember the day sitting on my couch before I started my podcast. I was trying to figure out what type of business I would start. And many of you who are longtime listeners know this story. I was sitting there. I think I had an iPad. Maybe I had a laptop, but I was sitting there. I remember exactly where I was. And I was like, well, maybe I've always wanted to be in public speaking. I could go around and be talking about things here. I don't even know. And I guess I looked up public speaking and an ad popped up, start your public speaking career by beginning your own podcast. And I was like, what the heck? And I like jumped off the couch because I'd already been listening to podcasts and I was obsessed with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, and just went for it. Y'all, I started looking up how to start a podcast and I saw that there was a podcasting convention coming up in Florida. I'm in Texas. I literally signed up for the podcast convention. I know no one going. I'm not going with anyone, but I'm going because this is day one of the future of me. I booked a hotel, booked my flight. Of course, I did make sure with my husband, like all's good. I'm going to leave the kids and all that stuff. Flew by myself to Florida, stayed for 3 nights in a hotel, went to a podcast convention, was loving every second of it, hearing about this new era of easily starting a podcast and getting known worldwide. That was day one. What if that day, sitting there looking at my iPad and my laptop, I decided that I'm going to let fear get in the way, that I was going to make excuses like, oh, I've never been in public speaking. Oh, I have no idea if my voice is terrible or not, or if people are going to be annoyed that I have a little bit of a Southern accent and I say y'all. And are they going to think I'm stupid? Are my friends going to think I'm stupid? Is my family going to think I'm stupid? I didn't let any of that get in my way. I said, I'm doing this. Day one is way better than one day. We would not be here if I put up those barriers. So I challenge you today to think about what barriers are in front of you that you're letting be there to block you from beginning with day one. Day one of the future of you does not mean you have to jump in and swim to the bottom. You get to put your toe in, but that's day one. You tried something. You did something. You looked up something. You booked something. Right? Think about this. I want to share with you 3 reasons why day one is so much better than just saying, one day, I hope I do that. One day, that would be fun. Number 1, day one is the day that you commit to the future of you. You commit to something that you want for yourself. You're saying today's the day. It may be like some of my grow-getters who have been starting their businesses or taking steps and say, you know what? I need to join Grow-getters because this is my day to begin the new me. And they joined, right? Maybe it's you reaching out to your friend that's a business owner. That's day one of the new you, of the future of you, to get the information. Maybe it's the day that you post in our Women Starting Businesses Facebook group to ask someone, is anyone in here in this field that you're in, whatever line of business that you're in, and see if they'll talk to you. The sweetest thing happened the other day. I saw it in the Facebook group. A new member had come in and she was thinking about starting a landscape design business. And I think maybe I'd posted, I'm going to connect you with Kim Aguilar. She's been on my podcast before. She's one of my grow-getters. She's a landscape design consultant in North Carolina. And later on our Thursdays where we do the Thankful Thoughts, she had posted, thank you, Kim, for spending 2 hours with me talking about and giving tips about your business to help me since I'm thinking about starting the business. People are this kind. Kim Aguilar, kudos to you. She's so sweet and just unselfishly giving of her time. But that's how you become the future you, by stepping out and asking questions. I've heard a quote before. Now I can't remember who said it, but it was like something about the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like having to process that. But I thought, there are questions that we need to ask in life. Questions to better our relationship, how other people feel, questions inquiring about the future of ourselves and businesses. I mean, there's a million types of questions we could be asking. I just thought that was interesting. But my point is, that can be your day one, where you call somebody and ask them a question. That can be your day one because you're actually stepping forward. Your day one might have been the day that you searched for starting a business on podcasts and you found this. Because that's how everyone tells me they find it. They search for starting a business. Right? What's your day one? Make today or tomorrow your day one. It can be right now after you get off this podcast. I was about to say you get off this call, but we're not on a call. Right? As soon as this episode is over, your day one can begin. It's the day you commit to your future self. Maybe it's the day you look up how to claim your DBA in your state. Like you have to do a doing business as when you start your business and you have to file your DBA and get that. Right? I don't know what your day one is. Have you had your day one yet? I kind of think a lot of you already have because you're here, which is amazing. So think about what your day one could be in the next phase of this process of your business. Maybe your day one has been learning and you did all this and you're learning, but you have taken no action really to start your business. Like you haven't created a prototype. You haven't thought about a name for your business or gotten the domain name or anything. Think about it. You can have a day one, but it doesn't mean you're all in. It doesn't mean you're spending $1 million day one. It just means you're like stepping in to this new you. Okay, so that's the first one because it represents the future of you, right? You're committing to that. Number two, it draws a line in the sand and it says, here I am. Here's where I want to be. And today I'm declaring out loud that that's where I want to be. It's almost an external declaration. It's like coming to terms with it, right? Sometimes we have difficult relationships in our life or things are going on and, maybe we're scared of, what the future holds for that relationship or whatever. If you're dating someone, you're married or it's family or whatever it is, and there's things that you've been wanting to say and you just have been scared to say it or ask or share or tell them that you love them and maybe they don't know, whatever it is, right? It's the day you draw the line in the sand and say, I'm not going to feel this way anymore. I'm going to start anew. It's drawing a line. It's externally committing in some way. Like, I'm going to go to the podcast convention all by myself. I'm going to book it today. That's what I did. And I learned about how to start a podcast because I knew no one that was a podcaster. And I was just starting my business and I thought that sounded so fun. And it was a blast. I was by myself and I made some friends and it was really cool. And y'all know what's really cool? One of the guest speakers in one of the rooms that I was in, like you could go to these different rooms at Podcast Movement and you can hear different speakers. And one of them was just, they had different podcasters, people that already had podcasts and we're just sharing some tips. I don't even remember what the topic was, but a podcaster was in there and often now, and I remembered this podcast and I told my husband about it. I was like, oh, so cool, talking about niche podcasts and who they help and all this. And recently, my podcast rankings have been right around this podcast. And it's nothing in this industry at all, but it was just a full circle moment that I was in there listening to that person thinking how cool that was that they had this niche podcast and audience. And here I am now I was looking at the rankings the other day in Apple Podcasts in the careers category in the top 100. Usually I'm in the top 100. Sometimes I fall out, but I was right around his podcast and I just couldn't believe it. I sent a screenshot to my husband. I was like, how crazy is that? Don't you remember me telling you about this podcast? Crazy, y'all. Things happen when you start your day one. Okay. It's your line in the sand. You're like, here I go. I'm going. Okay. So that's number two. Number three, and this one's really cool. The third reason why day one is so much more awesome than one day is because it's the day that you are closest to your mission. You are the most at one with your mission. I don't know how else to put this. But what I've noticed, and it happened to me, and it's happened to a lot of people, like you have this vision for your business, right? But really there's this heart of it. Like, I just want to help people, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just wanted to help women start their businesses, right? Whatever. But you get distracted and pulled away during the whole starting process sometimes because you will see what others are doing. You'll see what other players in your industry are doing. You will hear mentors and coaches and people like me kind of teach you things. And so you kind of have a new perspective. And then you start thinking, should I go in a different direction? And then you'll be like, should I start a subscription box? Should I have a membership? Should I have a coaching program? Should I do a group program? Should I do live workshops? And you start slowly getting muddied with all this mind drama of what you should be doing. And sometimes, and we all do it, stray a little bit from that initial raw mission. And why that day one is so awesome, because you are as close as you will ever be to how you want to help people. I'm not even kidding. It's a raw moment. I have loved that more than anything when I've had coaching clients come on. And when they are in the dreaming stage and they're planning, some of them taking my, best business idea workshop, and they're trying to wrangle their business idea. And then some of them will come and, we'll do a quick coaching call because they want to narrow it down to what the best one is. And you will see it on their face. Like, they're like, I just want to blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell you. And I see it at that moment. And I know that that is their raw, unfiltered, unmuddied. It's just raw. It's just organic. It's just their true soul. And that may sound dramatic, but it's true. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've seen it with myself, because I've gotten like, should I be doing this? Oh, when I start following someone else, I'm like, oh, they're really good. They're amazing. He or she is awesome. And I listen, and yeah, it's great. And it does inspire me and give me ideas and directions for how to take my business. But sometimes we'll get caught off. Oh, should I be helping them do this instead and that instead? And I am back here 3 years into this podcast. Like, I feel secure. Guess what I'm helping people do? Start their businesses. I always thought I'm going to have to do more. I'm going to do higher level. I'm going to have to do higher ticket. I'm going to have to be, having programs for scaling and getting to 100K and 200K and blah, blah, blah. And I have to do all this stuff. And I don't. My niche is where I started. It's to help people in the dreaming phase, turn that dream into the right business for them. My original mission was then to help them start. Like, turn those passions and skills into a business and actually take steps and start it and realize it's not that scary and it's actually exhilarating. And then the other thing was to get it opened and start making sales and start get this thing going. And what I say now is building their audience, because that's what it is, because that's what I know that today you have to do. If you don't have your own audience, are you just scraping for sales every week and having to reach out? You need an audience to market to. I'm doing everything that I initially set out to do in my purest form when I set out to start this podcast and help people. So I want you to realize this, that day one is so much better than one day, because number one, it's committing to the future of you. It's the day you're like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to take a little step, whatever it is, whether it's looking up a podcast or talking to a friend or getting a coach or having a consult with Kimberly or getting in Grow Getters or getting in my new Just Getting Started group that's about to open soon to help you. I mean, there's steps that you can take to say, okay, I'm going to do this, right? But number two, it's also the day you draw the line in the sand in front of you and you say, this was the person that I was, and I want something new. Now, it's kind of related to number one, which is committing to the future of you. But number two is more of actually taking a step and externally moving. Instead of just internally committing to the future of you, number two is externally doing something, right? And then number three is realizing that at that moment, it's almost like a newborn baby. You know how their skin is just so exceptionally yummy and soft? It's so smooth. And you're like, oh my gosh, this has been untouched. It's beautiful. It's how God made this child. It's the most amazing skin ever, right? Every day of our life after that, we hope to get back to that, right? It's that way with your mission. It's the rawest, purest form, day one. Because it's the day that it was unadulterated. You didn't have all the noise of what it should be and your expectation and how you need to live up and how you compare and how your prices are and what angle you should take the business and if you should be on social and what kind of videos. None of that. It's just I want to start a business to help people, and I want to help them do what? Say it out loud today, right now. What is the purest form of what you want to do? That's it. This is a beautiful moment. It's like a newborn baby, just born. It's the moment that you've arrived. So whatever you've been wanting to do, if it's personal, if it's business, day one is way more awesome than saying, I'm going to do this one day. Okay? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad y'all were here today. Please get in my Facebook group and make sure to, if you would like to get help starting your business, okay, or growing it and not having all the stress and wonder and confusion and not getting feedback and not knowing if you're not, doing anything right, you can become a part of one of my programs. And I would love, love, love to support you along your journey and help you speed this up. Get this thing going sooner than later. So make sure you check out below the ways you can work with me. I'm going to be launching my Just Getting Started group here very soon. It will be the lowest price I will ever have it. This is your chance to take your day one. I'm telling you, you can get in there. And then I have Grow Getters as well. Oh my gosh, great options for you. So scroll down and you can check those out below. But in the meantime, I hope you will really think about this lesson today and ask yourself, what can I do to begin my day one? That is it. Y'all have a great day. Bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.